Good morning, students. Here we are on the second lecture in chemical bond. In first lecture, we had discussed about the general introduction of covalent bond, octet rule theory, what an octet rule, and how octet rule is important to describe the formation of covalent bond. Here we are discussing ionic or electrovalent bond and the role of octet rule in the formation of ionic and electrovalent bond. Right? So the first important thing is this, that ionic and electrovalent bond, the chemical bond formed by exchange of electrons, are known as ionic or electrovalent bond, exchange of electrons. As I said, the covalent bond formed between non-metals, ionic bond formed between metals and non-metals. For example, and how octet rule is responsible, how octet rule describes the formation of ionic compound, like we have sodium and chlorine. Simple, I am discussing it with you. Sodium have 11 electrons and chlorine has 17 electrons. The configuration of sodium is 281 and configuration of chlorine is 287. So to complete octet rule, what is defining here, to complete the octet, sodium will lose one electron and give it to the chlorine atoms. So in that case, what will happen? The configuration of sodium will be 28 and the configuration of chlorine will be 288. And because sodium lose one electron, so it will be sodium plus, and chlorine get one electron, it will be chloride minus. And the compound will form, that is sodium chloride. In many other cases, you can also see, in case of Mg, magnesium oxide, Mg, the configuration is 282 and oxygen is configuration 26. So it need 2 electron to complete octet, and it need to lose 2 electron to complete the octet, or 6 electron need to get to complete the octet. So obviously lose 2 electrons is relatively easy. So it lose 2 electrons, then configuration of Mg2 plus V 28, and oxygen will take 2 electron, and in that condition the configuration of oxygen will be 2 minus and the configuration is again 2828, and the compound is formed by the mixing of both or by the attraction of both. The attraction will be electrostatic in nature. The attraction in the charged particles is electrostatic. Attraction in the charged particles is electrostatic, so obviously electrostatic will be the nature, right? So it is very much clear, I think, what will happen in this reaction. Okay, now here we are. What has happened here, you can see now. Let me discuss what we will discuss in class 11th. What change in class 11th, right? So the first is the condition for ionic bond. How the strong ionic bond will form. So the condition, 3 important conditions for ionic bond is, number 1, metals should have less ionization energy. We know the ionic bond formed between metals and non-metals. So metals should have less ionization energy. First. The second is, non-metals should have high electron gain enthalpy. High electron gain enthalpy means electron gain enthalpy must be more and more negative. So what we know very well, the low ionization energy is characteristic of metal. So metal should have less ionization energy. It means indirectly the metal should be most reactive or more and more reactive. And non-metals should have high electron gain enthalpy. As we know, high electron gain enthalpy is the characteristic of non-metallic. It is non-metallic nature. So the more and more high electron gain enthalpy, it is more and more negative electron gain enthalpy should be in non-metals for the formation of strong ionic band. And third important thing, which is the arrangement of positive and negative ion in the solid. Remember, all the ionic or electrovalent bond, the compound consists ionic and electrovalent bond are termed as covalent ionic compound or electrovalent compound, and they are generally solid in nature. So how they solidify? Actually, what will happen? The ions attracts each other and form a lattice. The energy required to form a lattice is known as the energy required to form a lattice by 1 mole of cation and 1 mole of anion is known as lattice enthalpy. Right? I can say the amount of energy released during the formation of 1 mole crystal lattice by combination of 1 mole of cation and 1 mole of anion is known as lattice enthalpy. It is in terms of exothermic. We can also say this: the lattice enthalpy of ionic solid defined as the amount of energy required to separate 1 mole of cation and 1 mole of anion from a solid ionic compound. Reverse फॉर्मेशन में कहेंगे तो एनर्जी बाहर निकलेगी, अलग अलग करना होगा तो एनर्जी आपको देना पड़ेगा. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड लैटिस एंथैल्पी. इट इज वेरी सिंपल and I'm just just a small explanation for lattice enthalpy I have. Lattice enthalpy, that we know Na plus 1 mole Na plus and 1 mole Cl minus will combine and form 1 mole sodium chloride. So in that case it will give the amount of energy released, that is called lattice enthalpy. अगर 1 mole sodium chloride का lattice और crystal form होता है, right? और in the reverse manner we can say कि आपको 1 mole sodium chloride का solid ionic compound से 1 mole sodium ion chloride ion को अलग अलग करना है. So we need to give energy. So in both the cases, in the first case it is exothermic, in the another case it is endothermic. Okay, and lattice enthalpy, remember, is equal to the K QA QC divided by RA plus RC. Here QA is the charge of anion, QC is charge of cation, RA is the size of anion, RC is the size of cation, and K is actually related with the packing of solid substance. This is packing efficiency like. ठीक है, कितना अच्छे से आयंस एक साथ रखे हुए हैं, कितना क्लोजली आयंस एक साथ रखे हुए, उसको डिफाइन करने की कोशिश करता है. सो इट इज़ वेरी मच क्लियर कि कैटायन और एनायन पर चार्ज ज़्यादा होगा तो लैटिस एंथैल्पी ज़्यादा होगी, और साइज छोटा होगा तो लैटिस एंथैल्पी छोटी होगी. देयर आर मैनी फैक्टर डिफाइनिंग इट ऑल्सो. सो दिस इज आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट लैटिस एंथैल्पी. So 3 important factors, again I'm come to the point, 3 important conditions are necessary. One is less ionization energy, another is one is high electron gain enthalpy, and third one relatively high lattice enthalpy, right? So it observed in solid state, right? I'm sharing one more important thing with you here. You can see this is called Born-Haber cycle for sodium chloride, and you can draw this cycle for each and every solid ionic compound. So I'm here showing what are the factors related in the formation of involved in the formation of any ionic compound, and here we will discuss also one important thing, how we can judge the stability of ionic compound, which one is more stable, which one is less stable, etc, etc, etc. Okay, here you can see the sodium, this is in solid state. So when any compound start formation of ionic compound, when formation of ionic compound starts, in that case initially sodium solid will convert into sodium gas. Solid sodium गैस सोडियम में कन्वर्ट होता है, एंड दैट अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी इन्वॉल्व हेयर इज कॉल्ड सब्लिमेशन एनर्जी. सो इट इज़ वेरी मच क्लियर, यू नीड टू गिव दिस एनर्जी. जब आप किसी सॉलिड को सब्लिमेशन एनर्जी देंगे तभी वो गैस में कन्वर्ट होगा. एंड द सेकेंड स्टेप दैट वी नो आयोनाइजेशन एनर्जी, इसमें ये अपना एक इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करता है, दिस इज कॉल्ड आयोनाइजेशन एनर्जी. अगेन वी नो वी नीड टू गिव आयोनाइजेशन एनर्जी, सो आयोनाइजेशन अकर. So both these energies are endothermic in nature. Okay, now here we are on the chlorine molecule. So before we give electron to the chlorine, we need to break chlorine molecule first. So Cl2 break down into Cl, and this is called enthalpy of dissociation, bond dissociation enthalpy we can say. Now Cl2, one molecule is there, but for 1 mole sodium we required half mole of chlorine gas. That's why we are taking half mole of Cl2 here, right? So the bond dissociation would also be high, right? The half would also be half. Okay, and then chlorine will, this bond dissociation energy, we need to break the bond, that's why we need to give energy again. So these three energies are endothermic in nature, right? Electron gain enthalpy for most effective metals like halogens, right, is negative. We know when second electron would enter, electron affinity generally positive, है ना, हमें जानते हैं, इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. तो जो भी इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन एफिनिटी है, समटाइम्स इलेक्ट्रॉन एफिनिटी नेगेटिव व्हेन वन इलेक्ट्रॉन एंटर इन एन एटम. इफ मोर देन वन इलेक्ट्रॉन एंटर इन एन एटम, देन इलेक्ट्रॉन एफिनिटी विल बी पॉजिटिव. ओके, so it takes one electron. Now sodium ion and chloride ion will combine and form NaCl. In that case, when they combine and form NaCl, energy released, that is called lattice energy. So it is very much clear these first three energies generally are endothermic in nature, and last two energies are in electron affinity. If any atom is taking one electron, negative. So these, in case of sodium chloride, we can say these two energies are exothermic in nature, and this is called a standard enthalpy of formation. What is standard enthalpy of formation? The standard enthalpy of formation means the amount of energy released or absorbed during formation of 1 mole compound from their constituent atoms is called standard enthalpy of formation. अगर मैं apart from NaCl, like I need to form ethanol, so what will be the reaction for enthalpy of formation? C2H5OH is ethanol, 2 carbon, 3H2 and half O2. I know आप अपनी आंखों पे भरोसा नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन ऐसा रिएक्शन लिखा जाता है enthalpy of formation के लिए. It means you can see from the constituent atoms we are making this compound. So in this reaction, the amount of energy released or absorbed is called enthalpy of formation. Yes, I know it is theoretical term, sometimes it is theoretical or sometimes it is practical also, but it is very important term. So in case of sodium chloride, we can easily understand 1 mole of sodium and half mole of chlorine gas will give NaCl, 1 mole of NaCl solid. So 1 mole of solid sodium and 1 mole of chlorine gas will give 1 mole of half mole of chlorine gas will give 1 mole of sodium chloride. In this reaction, this is called enthalpy of formation because their natural states are this. Sodium solid में होता है. So this is the enthalpy of formation, and the sum of all these enthalpies involved in this reaction must be equal to this. This is called Hess law. We will discuss about it. This is called Hess law, right? We'll discuss about it in thermodynamics, but it is very important. It means what is this rule is, according to this rule, the amount of energy released in a chemical reaction or absorbed in a chemical reaction, whatever it is, the total energy absorbed or released in a chemical reaction must be equal either reaction complete in one step or many. So here you can see in this step reaction complete in one step, but in this condition reaction complete in many steps. But according to Hess law, energy involved in both the cases must be similar. So for the first case we can write a standard enthalpy of formation. एंड इन अनदर केस हम इन सारी एंथैल्पीज को ऐड कर देंगे एंड बोथ मस्ट बी सिमिलर, बोथ आर इक्वल. This is Hess law. It is according to Hess law. Now the question is how stability of ionic compound is related here. So remember, stability of ionic compound actually in thermodynamic way, एक तो हमने जो जनरल केमिकल बॉन्डिंग वे में हमने बात कर ली. थर्मोडायनेमिक वे में वी कैन सी, देखिए लैटिस के बाद लैटिस एनर्जी में आपको ऑलरेडी आपको बता चुका हूँ. So according to thermodynamics, right, there is two important points we need to know that would decide the stability of ionic compound. That is, number one, the enthalpy of formation for this reaction must be negative, and the second one is, you can see, the enthalpy of sublimation, enthalpy of ionization, enthalpy of bond dissociation must be smaller than enthalpy of electron gain enthalpy and lattice enthalpy. It means this is the criteria: enthalpy of ionization energy, enthalpy of sublimation energy plus enthalpy of bond dissociation energy. Enthalpy is just similarly like the energy, right? Must be smaller than enthalpy of electron gain plus enthalpy of lattice energy. Electron gain enthalpy it is. Okay, so इस basis पर हम ये कह सकते हैं कि ये होना चाहिए. So अगर if it followed these two conditions, or obviously if it is these two are higher than this, obviously delta HF will be negative, right? So these are the two criteria which decide actually, and this Born-Haber cycle we can draw for every compound. I'm doing for you a Born-Haber cycle for another compound like किसके लिए ले लें, चलिए MgCl2 के लिए ले लेते हैं. ओके, MgCl2 के लिए ले लेते हैं. MgCl2 के लिए Born-Haber, Mg generally found in solid state. Okay, so the one is called enthalpy of sublimation, and the second one, so it will be Mg gas, and then two ionization energy is required, IE1 and IE2. Enthalpy of sublimation, two ionization energy required, that means delta H IE1 plus delta H IE2. Okay, so here we would get Mg2 plus, and another is Cl2 is there also. So in that case Cl2 we need that enthalpy of dissociation. Here 1 mole of Cl2 required, so obviously enthalpy of bond dissociation energy I'm using, enthalpy of bond dissociation using, and then it would convert into 2Cl, and when it get these two electron, so for 2 chlorine there would be 2 enthalpy of electron gain we would get, and then it convert into 2Cl minus, and both will combine. Here they combine will convert into we get enthalpy of formation. Here the compound will be MgCl2, and when lattice is evolved, in that case the compound will be MgCl2. So in that case enthalpy of formation, standard enthalpy of formation should be equal to enthalpy of sublimation plus enthalpy of IE1 plus enthalpy of IE2 plus enthalpy of bond dissociation energy plus enthalpy of electron gain into 2, obviously दो chlorine atoms है ना. Okay, and enthalpy of lattice, and obviously I can say कि इन तीनों जो है आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी, सब्लिमेशन और बॉन्ड, इनसे ज़्यादा होना चाहिए इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन एंथैल्पी और इनका सम. सो ऑन दैट वी विल डिसाइड दैट द स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ दैट कंपाउंड. Okay, so this is very important. So on this way we can discuss, or we can decide, or we can determine the stability of ionic compound. So what is ionic compound, what condition is necessary for ionic compound, how can we decide stability of ionic compound? I think it is very much clear to you now, right? So we'll discuss about it. Please watch this, and then we will discuss the related doubts in the class. Thank you.